Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a financial mediator and business valuation expert in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we're talking about selling your business and how to negotiate the highest price with Jamar Cobb-Dennard. He's actually a business broker and an M&A attorney, which I think is pretty important in this process. Actually, selling businesses is his entire business. So over the last few years, he's completed over 12 million in small business deals. And he also owns his own podcast, What Is It Worth? It's a business podcast about what your business is worth, how to sell a company, and how to buy businesses. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm delightful today. But as somebody's preparing to actually sell their business, number one is the financial performance of that business. So looking at the P&L, making sure that the ratios fit industry standard, because if we're looking at large scale buyers, if you're over $1 million or $2 million in private equity in adjusted EBITDA, then private equity firms, family offices, strategic buyers start knocking at the door at that point. So what does your financial performance look like compared to other businesses in a similar size in the same industry? What are your margins? What's your gross margin? What's your net margin? How do you decrease cost of goods sold as much as possible so that you're producing more profit and essentially printing money? Second is growth potential. There are three things that every buyer is looking at when they are seeking to buy a company. And I refer to it with the acronym CEO. They're looking for cash flow. They're looking for great employees who can run the company without the owner there. And they're looking for opportunities to grow. So cash flow, we just talked about in terms of financial performance. Employees, we'll talk about a little bit later. But here are opportunities for growth. Are there additional services or additional products that can be added to the business? Is the industry one that's actually growing right now? Those are important things to not only think about when marketing a business for sale, but also starting to grab onto those opportunities now so the business is already growing and in the flow of growth for a potential buyer as they're coming. The Switzerland structure, we call that the 80-20 rule, or is there any one customer, supplier, or employee that could essentially tank the business if they were gone? Customer concentration, employee concentration, and supplier concentration are big items that potential buyers always look at. So how do you diversify your customer base? How do you diversify your supplier base to ensure that you're not reliant on one of those that could destroy the company? Valuation, is the business a moneymaker or is it a money pit? Recurring revenue, how do you take something that's a service base or a single product purchase and turn it into a subscription model that'll take your valuation from maybe 3 or 4 times profit to 10 times profit just by having recurring repeatable revenue? What differentiates the business? How high are your customer service scores? And then finally, can your business run without you? Key point on that employee piece. Can your business run without you? Are you able to step away from the business or sell the business and be able to produce the same amount of cash flow, even though that owner isn't there? So those are those 8 steps essentially to think about as you're preparing to sell your business.